In Indiana, there are two different passing rates for the journeyman electrician license exam, 70% and 75%, because the Indiana Electrical Board offers two different levels of journeyman licenses, restricted and unrestricted. A 70% passing rate qualifies you for a restricted journeyman license, which allows you to work on projects up to $25,000. A 75% passing rate qualifies you for an unrestricted journeyman license, which has no limitations on project size. If Indiana adopts a statewide licensing system, it is unclear whether the 75% and up passing rate cutoff would be grandfathered in or not. This would depend on the specific legislation that is passed. The 75% passing rate is not necessarily recognized by more of the state than the 70% passing rate. Both licenses are valid statewide. However, some employers may prefer to hire unrestricted journeymen for larger projects. According to the Indiana Electrical Board, an electrician must hold a journeyman license for 4 years before taking the master electrician exam. Therefore, one cannot take the master's exam until 4 years after they have passed their journeyman test. It's important to consult the Indiana Electrical Board's official website for the most up-to-date and accurate information. Understanding the specific requirements and regulations is crucial for electricians in Indiana to ensure compliance and career advancement. Let's delve deeper into the specifics of each license type, the implications of the different passing scores, and the pathway to becoming a master electrician in Indiana. Focusing on the restricted journeyman license, as mentioned, it allows electricians to work on projects valued up to $25,000. This restriction is based on the total cost of the electrical work involved in a project. For electricians who primarily work on smaller residential or commercial jobs, a restricted license may be sufficient. However, it's crucial to accurately assess the scope and value of any project before undertaking it with a restricted license to avoid any legal or professional repercussions. It is up to the electrician to know the project costs. The unrestricted journeyman license, on the other hand, provides electricians with the freedom to work on projects of any size and complexity. This license is typically preferred by electricians who aspire to work on larger commercial, industrial, or infrastructure projects. Achieving the 75% passing score demonstrates a higher level of knowledge and competency, which can be advantageous when seeking employment or bidding on larger contracts. This may also suggest they have a stronger grasp of the material. The question of whether the 75% passing rate will be grandfathered into a statewide licensing system is a pertinent one. Grandfathering typically refers to a provision that allows individuals or entities already engaged in a particular activity or profession to continue operating under the existing rules, even if new regulations are introduced. In the context of electrical licensing, grandfathering could mean that electricians who have already obtained an unrestricted journeyman license with a 75% passing score would automatically be granted a statewide license without having to meet any additional requirements. However, the decision to grandfather an existing licenses ultimately rests with the Indiana legislature and the Indiana Electrical Board. It's impossible to predict with certainty what the specific provisions of any future statewide licensing law will be. The electrician should stay informed about any proposed legislation and participate in the public discourse to ensure that their interests are represented. Regarding the recognition of the 75% passing rate versus the 70% passing rate, it's important to reiterate that both licenses are valid statewide. This means that both restricted and unrestricted journeymen are legally authorized to perform electrical work anywhere in Indiana, subject to the limitations of the respective licenses. However, as previously mentioned, some employers may prefer to hire unrestricted journeymen for larger or more complex projects. This preference is based on the perception that unrestricted journeymen possess a higher level of expertise and are better equipped to handle challenging electrical installations. Electricians seeking to maximize their employment opportunities should consider pursuing an unrestricted journeyman license. Now let's address the requirements for becoming a master electrician in Indiana. As stipulated by the Indiana Electrical Board, an electrician must hold a journeyman license for 4 years before being eligible to take the master electrician exam. This requirement is intended to ensure that master electricians have sufficient practical experience and a thorough understanding of electrical systems before assuming the responsibilities of a master electrician. The 4-year waiting period begins from the date the journeyman license was issued, not from when the exam was taken. The Master Electrician exam is a comprehensive assessment of an electrician's knowledge of the National Electrical Code or NEC, electrical theory, and industry best practices. Passing the exam requires extensive preparation and a deep understanding of electrical principles. Master electricians typically have a wide range of responsibilities, including designing electrical systems, overseeing electrical installations, and ensuring compliance with safety regulations. They may also be involved in training and supervising other electricians. Obtaining a master electrician license can significantly enhance an electrician's career prospects and earning potential. It also demonstrates a commitment to professionalism and excellence in the electrical trade. The Indiana Electrical Board offers resources and guidance to assist electricians in preparing for the master electrician exam. These resources may include study guides, practice exams, and workshops. Electricians are encouraged to take advantage of these resources to increase their chances of success on the exam. In summary, understanding the nuances of Indiana's electrical licensing system is crucial for electricians seeking to advance their careers. The distinction between restricted and unrestricted journeyman licenses, the implications of the different passing scores, and the requirements for becoming a master electrician all play a significant role in shaping an electrician's professional journey. It is worth reiterating that relying on the official sources is important for the most accurate and up-to-date information. This ensures that electricians can stay informed about any changes to the licensing regulations and make informed decisions about their careers. Moreover, networking with other electricians and participating in industry events can provide valuable insights and support. The electrical trade is constantly evolving, and it's essential for electricians to stay abreast of the latest technologies, techniques, and safety standards. Continuous learning and professional development are key to long-term success in the electrical industry. The information provided here is for guidance and clarification only and should not be considered legal advice. Always refer to the official resources of the Indiana Electrical Board for the most accurate and up-to-date information. This will ensure compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. Additionally, consider consulting with a qualified legal professional for advice tailored to your specific situation. Let's elaborate on the specific aspects of the journeyman and master electrician licenses in Indiana. For the journeyman license, both restricted and unrestricted, it's important to note that continuing education may be required to maintain the license. The Indiana Electrical Board may mandate a certain number of continuing education hours to ensure that electricians stay up to date with the latest codes, technologies, and safety practices. These continuing education courses can cover a wide range of topics, including NEC updates, grounding and bonding, electrical safety, and energy efficiency. Electricians should proactively seek out continuing education opportunities to enhance their knowledge and skills and to fulfill any licensing requirements. The Indiana Electrical Board typically approves specific continuing education providers and courses. Electricians should ensure that they are taking courses from approved providers to receive credit for their continuing education hours. The requirements for continuing education can vary depending on the license type and the specific regulations in effect at the time. It's essential to check with the Indiana Electrical Board for the most current information. Regarding the Master Electrician license, in addition to a 4-year experience requirement, there may be other prerequisites that must be met before taking the exam. These prerequisites could include completing a specific number of IOs of electrical training or having a certain level of education. The Indiana Electrical Board may also require applicants to submit documentation of their work experience, such as letters from previous employers. The Master Electrician exam is typically a challenging and comprehensive assessment of an electrician's knowledge and skills. It may include questions on a wide range of topics, including electrical theory, NEC requirements, electrical design, and project management. The exam may also include practical components, such as the interpretation of blueprints or the troubleshooting of electrical circuits. To prepare for the Master Electrician exam, electricians should consider taking review courses, studying the NEC thoroughly, and practicing with sample exam questions. They may also benefit from working with a mentor who is already a licensed Master Electrician. Once an electrician obtains a Master Electrician license, they are typically authorized to perform a wide range of electrical services, including designing, installing, and maintaining electrical systems. They may also be responsible for supervising other electricians and ensuring compliance with safety regulations. Master electricians often work on larger and more complex projects than journeyman electricians, and they may have more opportunities for career advancement. The Indiana Electrical Board may also have specific requirements for maintaining a Master Electrician license, such as continuing education or periodic renewal fees. It's essential to stay informed about these requirements to ensure that the license remains valid and in good standing. Furthermore, it's important to note that the Indiana Electrical Board has the authority to investigate complaints against licensed electricians and to take disciplinary action if necessary. This disciplinary action could include suspension or revocation of the license. Electricians should always adhere to the highest ethical standards and follow all applicable laws and regulations to avoid any disciplinary action. The Indiana Electrical Board also plays a role in enforcing electrical codes and standards throughout the state. They may conduct inspections of electrical installations to ensure compliance with the NEC and other applicable regulations. Electricians should be familiar with the electrical codes and standards that apply to their work and should always strive to perform their work in a safe and professional manner. It is also worth emphasizing the importance of obtaining the necessary permits and inspections for electrical work. Many jurisdictions require permits for electrical installations to ensure that the work is performed safely and in compliance with the applicable codes. Failing to obtain the necessary permits can result in fines, penalties, and delays in project completion. Electricians should work closely with local building officials to ensure that all required permits and inspections are obtained. In addition to the Indiana Electrical Board, there may be other organizations or agencies that regulate the electrical trade in Indiana. These organizations could include local municipalities, utility companies, and insurance providers. Electricians should be aware of the regulations and requirements of these organizations and should comply with them accordingly. The electrical trade is a highly regulated industry, and it's essential for electricians to stay informed about the laws, regulations, and standards that apply to their work. By doing so, they can ensure that they are providing safe and professional electrical services to their clients and that they are complying with all applicable requirements. The Indiana Electrical Board is a valuable resource for electricians seeking information about licensing, continuing education, and other aspects of the electrical trade. The board's website provides a wealth of information, including licensing applications, exam schedules, and contact information. Electricians are encouraged to visit the board's website regularly to stay informed about the latest news and developments. Finally, it's important to remember that the electrical trade is a challenging but rewarding profession. Electricians play a vital role in ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical systems in homes, businesses, and infrastructure. By pursuing education, training, and licensing, electricians can enhance their skills, advance their careers, and make a positive contribution to society. Let's consider some practical examples of how the different licensing levels might affect an electrician's work. An electrician with a restricted journeyman license limited to $25,000 projects might focus on residential electrical repairs, small commercial installations, or maintenance work. They could handle tasks such as replacing outlets, installing lighting fixtures, or wiring a small addition to a house. However, they would not be able to work on larger projects such as wiring a new commercial building or installing a complex industrial control system. An electrician with an unrestricted journeyman license, on the other hand, could work on a much wider range of projects. They could handle large-scale commercial and industrial installations, complex control systems, and high-voltage work. They might be involved in projects such as wiring a new hospital, installing a solar power system, or maintaining the electrical infrastructure of a manufacturing plant. The choice between pursuing a restricted or unrestricted journeyman license depends on an electrician's career goals and the type of work they want to perform. The electricians who are interested in working on larger and more complex projects should pursue an unrestricted license, while those who are content with working on smaller residential and commercial jobs may find a restricted license sufficient. It's also important to consider the potential for career advancement when making this decision. An unrestricted license can open up more opportunities for advancement, such as becoming a master electrician or starting their own electrical contracting business. The information regarding time in the field before taking the exam and the time one has held a license before taking another are two separate things. Time in the field refers to the practical experience an electrician has gained by working in the electrical trade. This experience is typically gained under the supervision of a licensed electrician. The Indiana Electrical Board may require applicants for certain licenses to have a minimum amount of time in the field before they are eligible to take the licensing exam. The time an electrician has held a license, on the other hand, refers to the length of time they have been licensed as an electrician. This is relevant to the requirement that an electrician must hold a journeyman license for 4 years before being eligible to take the master electrician exam. The 4-year waiting period is intended to ensure that electricians have sufficient practical experience and a thorough understanding of electrical systems before assuming the responsibilities of a master electrician. Let's also discuss the importance of staying updated with changes to the NEC. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and it's essential for electricians to stay informed about the latest changes. These changes can affect everything from wiring methods to grounding requirements to safety standards. Electricians can stay updated with changes to the NEC by attending training courses, reading industry publications, and subscribing to online resources. They should also review the NEC handbook, which provides detailed explanations of the code requirements. Failing to stay updated with changes to the NEC can result in code violations, safety hazards, and potential liability. It's also important to note that local jurisdictions may have their own amendments to the NEC. Electricians should be aware of these local amendments and comply with them accordingly. Working in the electrical trade requires a commitment to safety, professionalism, and continuous learning. By pursuing education, training, and licensing, and by staying informed about the latest codes and standards, electricians can ensure that they are providing safe and reliable electrical services to their clients and that they are advancing their careers.